Hello everybody, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Dan2010 on Xbox Live. We've got another WWE predictions for you folks, and this time it's WWE Clash of Champions, where every single championship must be defended. We're going to start things off with the Cruiserweight Championship. And as you all know, I don't really watch 205 Live, so as it seems that the Clash of Champions on the kickoff show, there's going to be a triple threat match as Lindsay Dorado will take on Roberto Carrero, however you say that, and also with the Drew Gulak, the Cruiserweight Champion. So indeed, it will be Drew Gulak defending his championship against those two in this triple threat match. And for you guys that have not seen my predictions before, this is how my predictions work. I go on who I think is going to win, which is basically who WWE have booked to win. And in this case, I think it'll be Drew Gulak. And who do I want to win? And which in this case is Lindsay Dorado, and that's my own personal opinion. My own personal pick, if you will. So that is the first predictions for this kickoff show match. It's got a lot of matches to go through. I don't know. I know that the Raw tag team titles are also on the line, but I don't know about the SmackDown tag team titles. But we'll go through every single total match, and I will tell you who I think and who I want to win those matches. Starting with this one, as I said, I think it'll be Drew Gulak, but I want Lindsay Dorado. And on to the next match. And the next match is a Raw match as the United States Champion AJ Styles will be taking on the challenger Cedric Alexander. Now this match came about as the OC cost Cedric Alexander the chance to become King of the Ring a couple of weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, injuring him before the matchup. Cedric Alexander went one-on-one with Baron Corbin, and of course it's Baron Corbin picking up the scraps and actually advancing to a triple for what we thought was going to be a singles match between either Samoa Joe and Ricochet, but turns out it was a triple threat match, and then ends up winning that triple threat match to go to the finals of the King of the Ring. And he will be facing Chad Gable in that King of the Ring. But enough about the King of the Ring and the opportunity that Cedric Alexander got in that tournament. Of all that rambling, somehow, some way, Cedric Alexander has managed to get himself a United States Championship matchup. As we all know, every title must be defended, and to be honest, I want Cedric Alexander to win this, because he is a former 205 Live, a Cruiserweight champion, and I would actually like to have this as his first singles championship run. I would love to see that. AJ Styles has pretty much done it all in the business, so a loss to Cedric Alexander is nothing to his career. It won't hurt his career at all. I mean, yeah, but although I do think he will win, AJ will win, just because it's Cedric Alexander, and Cedric Alexander is maybe still hurt from those attacks. I don't know. Maybe he will be fully recovered. We'll find out at Clash of Champions. Hopefully, Cedric Alexander can pull up the upset against AJ Styles, but I doubt it. So there you go. That is my predictions for that one. I think AJ Styles, but I want Cedric Alexander. Come on, Alexander. Pull up the upset and beat AJ. But I got the feeling there might be some shenanigans from the rest of the OC members, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They may end up getting involved there. But we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? So yeah, well, that's my predictions. I think AJ Styles, and I want Cedric Alexander. And so yeah, on to the next match. And up next is the Intercontinental Championship. This is a SmackDown matchup. Even though The Miz is a Raw superstar, I'm going to class it as a SmackDown matchup because Shinsuke Nakamura is the Intercontinental Champion of SmackDown. And even though I think Miz is on Raw, so because The Miz is officially on Raw, and I don't know when the draft is happening. I heard there's going to be a brand new draft that's going to be happening soon. That's a good thing. So maybe if The Miz was to win the Intercontinental Championship, he'll be drafted to SmackDown. So that's a big if. But I'm going to go with Shinsuke Nakamura on this one. I think that Shinsuke is going to win. He's only just become the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, he's a former NXT champion. He's a former United States champion. He's a former, and he's the current Intercontinental Champion. And he's also former WWE champion? Question mark? Or did he not? Was he not able to? Yes, I'd like to say that yes. Yeah, he won the Royal Rumble and he lost to AJ, but he eventually beat AJ for it. Yeah. And The Miz is the exact same thing. He's a former United States champion, and he's an 8-time Intercontinental champion. So maybe in order to beat Chris Jericho's record, they are going to make The Miz a 10-time Intercontinental champion. So they probably might make The Miz the champion here at the end of this one. I'm hoping so. And so because I'm hoping that's going to happen, I want The Miz to win the Intercontinental Championship here, just so that he can tie with Chris Jericho for the most title reigns. And because Jericho is no longer part of WWE, I think they might want to stick it to him. Therefore, Shinsuke might win it back the next night on SmackDown, and then The Miz will win it back so further down the line, beating Jericho's Intercontinental with the most Intercontinental Championship reigns, possibly. But this matchup is should be an entertaining matchup. Whether Sami Zayn will be at ringside, I don't know. I think he might be, but hey, we'll find out come Clash of Champions this Sunday. So yes, I think Shinsuke Nakamura, but I want The Miz, and I'm hoping that this match is gonna be awesome. With that being said, we'll go on to the next match. And we've got another SmackDown match. Well, kind of again, because the championships do belong to SmackDown for the time being. And the Revival, again, they are a Raw team. So it's the New Day versus the Revival. And the New Day are obviously the SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. And the Revival are former Raw Tag Team Champions. And I reckon it might end up going to the Revival here, but I doubt it, just because, again, they are from Raw currently as we speak. And that's from the time that I'm recording this video, they are a part of Raw. So I very much doubt that we're going to see a title change hands in this matchup, because, again, it is Big E and Xavier Woods are the tag team champions. So, who do I think is going to win? Xavier Woods and Big E. Who do I want to win? Strangely enough, the Revival, because they are actually pretty a decent team enough to become multiple time tag team champions. I think they won the Raw Tag Team titles at least 3 times. So it would be nice to have the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles around their waists, and maybe have them traded to SmackDown after this, via the draft. So maybe that could happen, but I doubt it. I think it might go to the New Day in this one. But we'll find out at Clash of Champions which brand is going to be superior when it comes to this matchup, and even the Intercontinental Championship matchup, as I just previously said. But yeah, this one's going to be a bit of a back and forth type of matchup with just fist no flips with the Revival and the New Day with the power, the positivity behind them, and pancakes as well as Bootios. So therefore, this match rocks. This match rocks. Is all I'm gonna say about that. SmackDown Tag Team Championship matchup should be a good one. As I said, I think it'll be the New Day, but I want the Revival. Well, I'll just want to see who wins this matchup at Clash of Champions, and we'll go on to the next match. And now we got the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship matchup, as the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross from Monday Night Raw take on SmackDown Live's Fire and Desire of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. This is a tough one to call, but personally, I think and I want Team Bliss to win, just because, again, they've only just won the women's tag team titles. As much as I like Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, I think their chances of being the women's tag team champions may have to come a little bit further down the line. But for now, we're actually going through a really good stage with Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. So until we have some type of miscommunication and a betrayal from Alexa Bliss, betraying her partner, which is probably not going to come anytime soon, I think we're going to have the tag team titles around her waist for quite some time. So yeah, Mandy Rose I love, and Sonya Deville, I love them both, but their time will have to come a little bit further down the line, as I just said. So with that being said, I want Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss to win, and I think Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss are going to win. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And with that being said, we'll go on to the next match. And now this is the match that's going to be really interesting, as we know that Braun Strowman will be taking on Seth Rollins in the main event of Clash of Champions for the Universal Championship later on in the night. Now the question is, will we see a betrayal from Braun Strowman or Seth Rollins and costing them the Raw Tag Team titles for against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode? And let me just tell you, I've come up with a name for Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, and my name for Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode is the Glorious Show-Offs. Let me know in the comments if you like that name, and if you've come up with a better name. As for Team Burn It Down, or Team Get These Hands, or Team Burn It Down, or Burn These Hands, I'm gonna burn your whatever. The Team Seth and Strowman, I don't know if they were able to coexist as the tag team champions for the last couple of weeks on Raw. So I don't know. This match may end up going in their favor, and one of them will still be the champion, or have a new champion and still be the tag team champions at the end of the night. But I don't think that's going to be the case. So here's what I'm going to say for this one. I think it'll be new tag team champions in Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode of the Glorious Show-Offs. But I want Team Burn It Down to win the match. But the only reason why I think that Team Glorious Show-Offs is gonna win, is because either Braun Strowman will betray Seth, or Seth will betray Braun. One of the two. So yeah, as I was saying, personally, I think it'll be, as I was saying, I think it'll be the Glorious Show-Offs that win, but I want Team Burn It Down to win. But anyway, we'll find out at Clash of Champions, won't we? So, speaking of, we'll go to the next match. And of course, now we got the SmackDown Women's Championship matchup, as the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley is going to be taking on Charlotte Flair, the challenger. And I believe the Clash of Champions is taking place in Charlotte Flair's hometown, of Charlotte, North Carolina, which Flair country, which of course doesn't go well for anyone that comes from their own hometown. Hometown heroes always lose, and so it's very rarely that hometown heroes win. So I'm going to have to bet against Charlotte here, and I'm going to say I think it will be Bayley that wins this match. But this may sound shocking to you and myself, and I'm about to say it. I want Charlotte Flair to win this matchup, because my God, what an attitude we've been having from Bayley, saying that her friendship with Sasha Banks has not changed. A little bit does not change this, but I mean, she's turned heel. She's 100% turned heel, and then we've got a heel versus a heel, even though majority of people are going to probably still cheer for Bayley anyway, and boo Charlotte. If it's Charlotte's in her home country, so she'll get cheered. So it's going to be a mixture of emotions from the WWE crowd at Clash of Champions. So this one, I think, is we're gonna have a really dominant. I'll get to that in a second. A dominant faction. Well, I would say tag team at this point, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, here I want Charlotte to win, but I think Bayley's gonna win. I think she may end up getting herself disqualified by whacking Charlotte with a chair or something, or some type of shenanigans is gonna happen. She's maybe smiling in this picture, but that's because she's the champ. And my God, I don't know if she'll be the champ. She even beat Charlotte Flair to win the championship by catching in the Money in the Bank against her at Money in the Bank. So, technically she's beaten Charlotte before. So, we'll find out at Clash of Champions, won't we? Well, that being said, we'll go on to the next match. And now we have, from one women's match to another, as the Raw Women's Championship is on the line, as the man Becky Lynch defends her Raw Women's Championship against the boss, Sasha Banks, who returned after crying and bitching and turning heel against Natalya a couple of weeks ago on Raw, and even said it broke the fourth wall by saying that that's exactly what she did, and she didn't want the women's tag team titles. And as I said with Bayley, she's still friends with Bayley, so impossible Bayley felt the exact same thing. Now look, Bayley is the champ, and now this is why I think Sasha Banks is going to win the Raw Women's Championship by defeating Becky Lynch. Somehow I may be something to do with some shenanigans with Bayley coming down to help Sasha win. That's what I think is going to happen. What I want to happen is that I want the man Becky Lynch to make Sasha Banks tap out and make her bitch and moan and cry like a little bitch like she is, and all was, and probably still is, just because that's what I want to happen. But it's too hard to judge. I mean, Again, as I said, some type of shenanigans is going to happen, but I don't know what. It's not going to be an easy, fair, I made you tap out type of deal, or, one of these girls is going to tap out. It's either going to be Sasha tapping out to the Disarmer, or it'll be Becky Lynch tapping out to the bank statement. But either way, the Raw Women's Championship must be defended. Are we going to see a new champion, or will Becky retain? We'll find out at Clash of Champions, and we'll go on to the next match. A few weeks ago, Roman Reigns was minding his own business, and he was about to get interviewed by, I think, Kyla Braxton or someone. He was going to get interviewed by somebody, and all of a sudden, this forklift that pushes down these scaffolding comes tumbling down, and the man behind that, nobody knew what happened to Roman. Nobody knew who tried to take out Eric Rowan. And somewhere in the shot, somewhere backstage, Buddy Murphy appeared. And Roman Reigns went to Buddy Murphy and he thought it was him. He went, "Hey, who was it? Who was it?" And he said it was Eric Rowan. He saw Eric Rowan do what he did. Daniel Bryan thought he was lying and therefore beat up Buddy Murphy, and of course lost to him in a matchup, even though he beat him up and all this type of stuff. And then a couple of weeks later they revealed that it was Eric Rowan's twin brother Merrick Rowan, when of course that was a lie. That was a cover up by Eric Rowan himself, because not to mention the fact that he almost tried to kill him by running him over. And so after all of this, it was Eric Rowan, damn it, that tried to kill Roman Reigns for the last couple of weeks. So, and last week on Raw, we had another, not Raw, SmackDown, sorry, we had another instance of where he basically went after Roman again. And this time knocking him out with one of those big camera things. So it sets up this match for Clash of Champions, which I think, which I think could have happened somewhere else, like on Raw or something, because it's this Clash of Champions. The whole idea is that every title must be defended. This is a match where doesn't belong here. It could have just happened on SmackDown, to be honest with you, but we're having it anyway. It's a no disqualification match between Roman Reigns and an Eric Rowan. I might like to add the Eric part, because over the last couple of months I've been saying Rowan because that was his name. It was shortened to Rowan, and I accidentally kept on going into the Eric Rowan part, but they changed it back again to Eric Rowan. Make up your bloody mind, WWE. Is it Eric Rowan or just Rowan? Either way, this matchup is going to be brutal. And who do I think is going to win? Roman Reigns, obviously. He's got to get his redemption. There's no way after all this that Eric Rowan's going to pick up the victory. Even though I do want him to win, because it would make sense. It gets to finally prove he's a monster and not just a puppet and all that type of stuff that he's been saying. So to get a win over Roman Reigns will be good for this monster push if he's going to get one. So yes, who do I want to win? As I just said, I want Eric Rowan to win. Who do I think? I said I think it's going to be Roman Reigns. Will Daniel Bryan get involved because there's no disqualifications? Maybe. Maybe they're going to turn Daniel Bryan face again. I don't know. We'll find out at Clash of Champions again. But as I said before, I don't think this should be at Clash of Champions, but it will be. So who am I to complain? We've got two behemoths going at it at Clash of Champions and a no disqualification matchup. So, you win some, you lose some. Next match. And the next match is the WWE Championship match as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Kofi Kingston will be taking on the 14-time World Champion Randy Orton, who could possibly become a 15-time World Champion if he defeats Kofi Kingston. Now, I wanted Randy Orton to win the last pay-per-view at SummerSlam. I'd like to say SummerSlam. Yes, at SummerSlam. But that ended up in a no contest. So I'm actually kind of glad that we got this rematch, because I want this match to be endable. I want it to end properly. So wherever Kofi Kingston ends up hitting like the Trouble in Paradise or SOS to beat Randy Orton once and for all, and showing that he ain't stupid, even though he was pretty stupid to challenge Randy Orton in the first place. It's because like 10 years ago, and they had this rivalry, and Randy said he wasn't ready then, and he ain't ready now, but he's the WWE champion, so what? All because Randy Orton injured Ali, and all this, and he went into the Elimination Chamber. So all this stuff, this rivalry, it's gonna come to an end at Clash of Champions. I think it's possible, but who do I think is gonna win? Randy Orton. Surprisingly enough, as much as I don't want him to win, but I think he's gonna win. Who do I want to win? Kofi Kingston. Oh yes, I want Kofi to win. I want him to stay champion, and I think he'll be champion for quite some time. And if anything, I want to have that whole year as champion by winning the championship at WrestleMania like he did, and then going to WrestleMania and retaining his championship and having this whole year as champion deal. I'd like to see that. I really do. So I don't know, it'll be a methodical pace if it's down to Orton, but it was the matchup itself at SummerSlam was as good as I thought it would be, for a Randy Orton match at least, and for the two different styles, the slow and methodical pace of Randy Orton, but the quick, high-flying pace of Kofi Kingston. It works pretty well, and they both, I would say, share chemistry, but who will become WWE champion at the end of this night? Would it be Kofi Kingston as still your WWE World Heavyweight Champion? Or will Randy Orton finally become a 15-time World Champion? Unless he's already a 15-time World Champion, then in that case he'll become a 16-time champion. Whatever. Will it be Randy Orton? Will it be Kofi? We'll find out at Clash of Champions as we go on to our last and main event. Next match. And now we're back to these two again. As I mentioned earlier in the Raw Tag Team Championship matchup, as they are the Raw Tag Team Champions, they must defend their titles against the glorious show-offs. Now there's there's like 3 scenarios that have happened throughout the night before we got to this matchup. 1. Braun Strowman has betrayed Seth Rollins, and therefore they are no longer the champions. 2. Seth Rollins has betrayed Braun Strowman, and they're no longer the champions. And 3. They got on really well, and of course are still the Raw Tag Team Champions, and now it's going to be a friendly face versus face for the WWE Universal Championship, as Seth Rollins defends his championship against Braun Strowman. So one of those 3 scenarios is going to happen. I can guarantee it. Almost pretty much one of those 3 is going to happen. Now there's 1 or 2 scenarios is going to happen, regardless of what happens out of those 3 scenarios of what I just said. Either Braun Strowman will win the WWE Championship and redeem himself from Seth Rollins' wrath, or it'll be Seth Rollins that retains from the wrath of Braun Strowman, or it'll be the Braun Strowman goes on a rampage as your Universal Champion after betraying Seth Rollins and becoming champion, and vice versa. This is a difficult choice to make, but I'm gonna go stick with my gut. It sticks here, and I say, as much as I want Braun Strowman to win, because I want him to finally win his first ever singles championship. He is the only championship where he's technically won, and we've not seen it since, is the greatest Royal Rumble championship. But we ain't seen him wearing that at all. That's a forgotten championship. So he's proper singles champion. He's not even won an Intercontinental Championship yet, or United States Championship, or heck, not even gone out to the 24/7 Championship. Or he wasn't brought up in NXT, so he hasn't. He's won tag team gold that twice. Once with a kid, and now with Seth Rollins. At least with the kid, might be better. He might have had a better chance of retaining the titles, but no, seriously though. As I said, I think it'll be Rollins, but I want Braun Strowman. This one's a tough match to call. What do you think is going to happen in Clash of Champions, where we see a betrayal by either Seth Rollins or Braun Strowman? Or would they get on really well and just have a nice friendly competition? I doubt that. I mean, Seth Rollins is very good, cocky little heel. But at the same time, Braun Strowman is a good monster heel. I don't care either way. Whoever betrays who, the feud can continue regardless. I think that eventually they will lose the Raw Tag Team titles because of that feud. So it might start off as friendly competition and end up being like where pretty much So yeah, we're pretty much done now. That is it. That is my predictions for WWE Clash of Champions 2019. And like I said, let me know who you think's gonna win. Do you reckon it'll be good, bad, ugly? But until then, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Danrvdtree2000 Live, and I'm gonna see you at Clash of Champions review and reactions. But until then, bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to watch the previous video, click on the video on the left. But if you want to watch the playlist, then click on the video on the right. Also, feel free to click subscribe by clicking on the Master Chief icon on the top.